Hello strangers. So today I thought I'd talk about the strangeness of Lyme disease because recently I've had loads of emails from people asking me about how I recovered from Lyme disease. And I think what's happened is I wrote, there was like a Lyme disease documentary, and I wrote on there, and suddenly people started contacting me, asking me how did I actually recover. So yeah, Lyme disease, what a bloody really bizarre illness that is. So I contracted it in 2015. Like a little tick came on my leg, and you have about 3 to 4 days to get that tick off your leg, and if you don't, then you're at risk of getting Lyme disease. Well, at that time I was really busy working in the job I was in, extremely busy hours I was doing, and I only had 1 day free, and I went walking in the nature, and somehow I got this tick on my leg. That was in July, and I didn't have time I just didn't see it, and I think about 3 weeks went by before I actually noticed that this tick was on my leg. And I got it off, didn't think anything about it, because I actually didn't really know anything about Lyme disease at all at that time. And suddenly, I think maybe about 6 weeks after, something like that, I started getting strange symptoms. Started with pains in my chest, and started to get worried that it was to do with my heart. So one day in my workplace, I suddenly collapsed with this really painful sensation in my chest. So I went up to the doctor, and the doctor saw me straight away, because I live in a country where, luckily live in a country where they have the best healthcare service on the planet here in Norway. And so he put like electrodes on me and did something and said that the heart was fine. And strangely enough, the pains went away at that time. Anyway, nothing happened for about 4 days. And then the pain in the chest came back, and it would come and go. And then one night, the pain in my chest was so bad, I just couldn't sleep, and I was sitting up, and it was absolutely agony. And my wife woke up and said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I don't know what this is." I said, "It's really painful, I can't sleep." And it was so painful, I was actually crying with the pain. And so I went back to the doctor, still found nothing. And then I started noticing other symptoms. I was a passenger in a friend's car, and my little finger, I think this finger here, it was like twitching like this, twitch, 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 twitch. You know, and it was almost twitching with the same rhythm of my heart. And it actually wasn't a nice sensation. It felt like something had invaded my body. That's the best way I can describe it. So I went back to the doctor and told him about this. And he said, "It sounds like Lyme disease," he said. And I said, "What the hell's that?" I said, "Is it serious?" You know, but actually, I was actually grateful to find out that it was something. So he said, "We need to do a test." So he took blood, they sent it off, and it came back negative. So he said, "Well, it can't be that." But anyway, so I thought, okay, well, what is it then? He says, I don't really know. Maybe you're just stressed. So anyway, the weeks go by and the symptoms start getting worse. I can't sleep, so that's not helping because the pain's so bad. I'm taking paracetamol tablets all the time, and then pain started coming in my legs, in my arms. I got weaker and weaker until one day I was so desperate, and I said to my wife, you got to take me to the doctor. I'm dying. I think I'm dying. So she drove me down to the doctor, and I'm walking like a cripple. And he said to me, he said, I admit I thought it was psychological, but this doesn't look psychological to me. So he took another test for Lyme disease, and that also came back negative. And so anyway, I started reading about Lyme disease then, and I started finding out that it's actually very, very difficult to find Lyme disease in your blood. These tests, I think it's something like 9 or 12% chance, because the Lyme disease bacteria, the little buggers, they're so clever at hiding in your body, they hide from the immune system. So I became convinced then that it was Lyme disease, but they just couldn't find it, because every time they take the test, the Lyme disease bacteria isn't in that part of the blood. But the thing is, all I knew is that I was having enormous amount of symptoms and I was in incredible pain. And then on, let me think what it was. I think it was Christmas Eve of that year, 2015. I was so in agony, I was actually screaming in pain. And a friend of mine who's a male nurse, he came to visit, and he saw how bad I was, and he phoned the emergency services, and they sent a helicopter, because here in Norway the nearest hospital it's like 2 hours away. So they rushed me in the helicopter ambulance to the nearest hospital over the mountain. And to be quite honest, I really thought I'm dying. My heart rate was so high. They thought that I was actually going to have a heart attack. And I'm sweating, my temperature's up. So they take me in, and they said, "Tell me what's happened." I told the woman doctor what had happened, and told that my doctor thought it was Lyme disease, but they couldn't find it. So they said, "We're going to put you in because you certainly do have symptoms there." And I'm screaming and screaming. And they put me in this ward, and I could hardly bear the pain. I tell you what, the pain is just, you can't really put words to it, really. And the other patients complained. They said, "Put him in a room on his own. We can't sleep. This guy's screaming all the time." So they put me in another room. And they didn't even give me any painkillers, because I think they don't do that when they need to find out exactly what it is before they give you anything. So anyway, the two women doctors came the next day, and I just broke down. I literally begged them. I begged them to help me, give me back my life. I said, "Please give me my life back," because it was just unbearable. So I was in for about a week, maybe 10 days, and they did every single test you can possibly do. And, they were taking blood from me while I was just lying there. Couldn't lift my arm. And one by one, they eliminated things until it came down to 2, the doctor said. And luckily for me, there was one doctor there who was kind of legendary in that he was like a workaholic. Thank God for that, I thought. And in the end, he said to me, "There's only 2 things left it can be, and that is brain cancer or Lyme disease." And I said, "I've been saying it's fucking Lyme disease all along." And he said, "Yeah, but we can't find it." They even took stuff out my spine, like a liquid out of find, and they still couldn't find it. So they did an MRI scan on my brain. And of course, now I'm starting to think, is it brain cancer, So he said to me, he said, the thing is, Arthur, there's not many illnesses can actually put pain over the entire body. So if you get a pain in one place in your body, that's actually a good sign in a way, because in a way we can locate it and fix it. But when there's pain over the entire body, well, what the hell can it be? And only Lyme disease really is one of the few things that can do that, and also cancer, certain types of cancers. So I'm just distracted here because since the last time I came here, they've chopped down loads of trees. So everything looks a bit different, you know. Such a shame that they chopped down the trees. So there's the village I live down there, little village in Norway. Can we see, I've been speaking 10 minutes now. I'm just going to stop it there and do a part 2.